It's time for the main event of the evening and the Queen of Sparta Flyweight Championship bout. Let's bring the ladies out one more time. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, please make welcome Shannon Sinn.
Having advanced through 6 rounds of fighting already, Shannon Sinn making her way to the cage. And what's that feeling like, knowing that you've worked your way through a tournament, coming here for the final?
Man, with the final, you don't care what you've just gone through, you're here. So all that's in the past. It's just a fight left. And just go for it.
Excellent, excellent. Lots of athletic and cardiovascular output. There were no apparent injuries that we saw sustained by Sinn. Of course, she would want to keep those secret, were there any.
Absolutely.
But, you know, there wasn't anything that we saw where she was shaking out a hurt hand or, you know, took a head kick or anything like that.
Right.
So she, other than the cardiovascular wear and the normal bumps and bruises that come in with it, she doesn't seem to be any worse for the wear.
I agree. Smile on her face, and she's ready to get in there.
Like we've talked about, this is exactly where she wants to be.
Absolutely.
She's a fighter. This is what she does. This is what's fun.
Absolutely.
Proud representative of her gym, Grinders Fitness.
And now, fighting out of the blue court, shooting center blue corner, please make welcome once again, Cheri Muraski.
And the Easton Training Center fighter, Cheri Muraski. Coming in after her having fought 6 hard-fought rounds as well. Had a little marking up around her eyes after her final fight, but again, nothing that we would say that looked like it was significant damage. Doesn't seem to be any injuries having been sustained.
All ready to go.
Bring it on. And something that I don't believe we had mentioned, $10,000 on the line.
$10,000.
Believe we can say without a doubt it would be the best payout of either fighter's career up to this point.
Absolutely.
And hopefully something that leads to even more. Muraski in the cage.
The main event of the evening is presented by Saratoga Casino Blackhawk. It's time to meet the ladies, putting it all on the line for the Queen of Sparta Championship. First, fighting out of the
love that
Dynamic
belt.
Mortgage Concepts red corner. She represents Grinder Submission Fighting. She's from Brighton, Colorado. Say hello one more time to Shannon Sinn. And her opponent, fighting out of the Blue Core Shooting Center blue corner, representing Easton Training Center. She's from Denver, Colorado. One more time, Cheri Muraski. The Queen of Sparta Championship bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Referee Tom Johnson.
All right, ladies,
Pro MMA, referee Tom Johnson third in the cage. This is 5-minute rounds, which is different from the amateur MMA, which we saw earlier. You can knee to the head of your opponent while you're standing, and you are allowed to use the point of the elbow for an attack, whereas in the amateur or the elimination division, you have to strike only with the forearm. So, Pro Women's MMA, $10,000 on the line here for the finals of the Queen of Sparta Flyweight Tournament, SCL 70.
Kind of seems like exact same plan that they've had for her kind of this whole tournament. Just grabbing on.
And you talked about how much you know Muraski loves to be in the cage and what a dedicated grappler she is.
She is a black belt.
So this will be her first opportunity to put the grappling skills on display.
Absolutely.
See if she tries to effect a takedown here and see if she can get it to the mat and put that black belt to use.
Very effective elbows and knees there from Sinn.
Yes, good knee strikes by Sinn. And again, as we are in the professional division, you can knee to the head as long as you're standing. And don't believe that wouldn't be a favorite target of both these fighters. Good series of knee strikes by Sinn. Really going to work on the body of Muraski there. So typically you're seeing a fighter, if they have their back up against the cage, they're sort of getting the worst of it and not the one that's being able to land the more effective techniques. But Sinn, with her back against the cage, is making a very strong showing for herself here.
Yeah, extremely comfortable. She's got her underhooks in, both of them.
See if Sinn's able to have even more positive effect. I was going to say now that she has her back off of the cage, but that quickly turned. Good work by Muraski.
Absolutely.
Ooh, nice elbow over the top hole by both. Muraski with an answer. Muraski listening to her corner. They called for an uppercut elbow, and she threw exactly that.
They're both throwing knees tonight.
Just brutal strikes. It's so draining to get hit
And they've just had 2 fights.
like that. And this is round 7
right,
for both
they're
of them.
already drained. Great work from the clinch. They're both staying active.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of technique going on here.
They're from them both, absolutely.
And don't discount the amount of energy that it takes to fight in the clinch.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, you're just kind of up against the cage, have your back against the cage, or you're leaning on your opponent. It's a chance to take a rest. Good clinch fighting like what these two are doing here is just brutally draining.
It is a grind. There's no doubt about it.
Muraski staying busy with her hands there, working body shots. Sinn has to clasp her hands and work the underhook in order to bring it back up so the Muraski couldn't get the takedown. Oh my goodness, we keep saying it, but the knees are just brutal this evening.
From both sides. Oh.
Sinn working to bring it up to
Got
the
it
head.
up top.
1 minute left. It's been an almost all-tie clinch fight here so far.
Really active tie clinch, too.
Could have had this fight in a phone booth.
Right, it has been. Very nice pressure. Right there from Sinn.
Sinn, I won't say content to have her back against the cage, but when we see Muraski with her back against the cage, she certainly works a lot more diligently.
Absolutely.
Trying to change the position, whereas Sinn, she was finding so much success even with her back pinned against the cage. She seemed to be okay to just stand there and work some offense and then eventually try to go toward turning it. About to have the 10-second clacker. Well, from a coaching standpoint, a little bit of a difficult round as far as what you tell your fighters because they both had some success with it.
Yep.
And you and I are both assuming this is what their game plan was. So they both kind of pulled off sort of the game plan, but I would have to think if I was in the corner of Muraski, maybe some more tries for a takedown just because there would be the belief that that camp has the advantage on the ground.
I agree 100%.
And Sinn, as she's done all night,
Throwing those knees,
just
man.
very content to work in tight. Doesn't seem to care about firing off from a distance, and we're seeing it here. Oh
Very
my
nice
goodness,
knees
so
from
brutal.
Them both, though, man.
Yeah,
they are both taking some shots.
Everybody having good effect here.
Absolutely.
Like we said, it could have taken place in a phone booth, but man, a lot of action in that phone booth.
Phone booth fighting.
That's got to be a t-shirt waiting to happen. I was going to say, is anybody even going to pretend to throw a punch, or should they just go to the middle and clinch? Good combinations. Both fighters not content to throw single punches.
Absolutely. There's that clinch again.
And Muraski wrapping it up tight. Has good head control here. Her forearm is not exactly where she wants to be. Her elbows kind of by the ear of her opponent. She wants that a little farther around. And Sinn able to extricate herself from danger. Mostly I just wanted to say extricate.
Good job. We're right back in that phone booth clinch.
Here we go. Right back to the clinch work. A little more handwork being shown here by Muraski, and Sinn looks to answer with it. Big elbow over the top. When their heads separate, we're going to have to see if that opened up a cut or anything on Sinn, because, boy, that was a great strike. Maybe a little welting underneath the left eye of Sinn there. I don't see any blood yet. And Muraski looks to pressure forward for a second, then backs off and takes a deep breath. Able to get that kick underneath the elbow.
Very nice,
Sinn with
Superman.
the Superwoman punch.
Here comes those knees.
Just
Brutal.
such an incredible amount of energy
Yes.
fighting from this position.
And they're both doing it, man. They
Yeah.
are both doing it. And they're good.
Even what they were doing in the center of the cage there, both of them bend forward in that kind of wrestling lockup position. Hard to get a deep breath. having to use all of your upper body musculature. Oh, just wow. And again, I'll allude to the fact that this is the 8th round.
Yes, this is the 8th round.
Over near the corner of Sinn, where she can take advice from her corner people. And again, we see Muraski not really wanting to be the initiator in the stand-up. She seems to be perfectly happy to be the one that counters, but if she has a chance to step back, she's done that a couple of times now. And again, good head control here from Muraski, enough so that Sinn having to go with both hands 2-on-1 wrist control. Referee Tom Johnson in there making a close look at things.
He's taking a peek.
And
this is such a dominating position.
Good spot
For
from Muraski.
Muraski,
Try to get those knees in there as well.
And there's not much that can come back at her.
Yeah, you have your opponent hunched over like that.
Absolutely.
And they're having a hard time breathing just because of the position. Then you add in some strikes, you have to worry about getting kneed in the face. And really nice position for Muraski to have been in, because it's either I'm going to knee you or you're going to try to block the knee and I can try to close up the choke a little bit better.
Absolutely.
But
Very
Sinn
nice uppercuts
able to
from
escape
Sinn.
and
Absolutely, absolutely.
fires off some of her own shots, working her own damage. Good job using the knee to clear the hand off the wrist there by Sinn. A couple times tonight she's done that. Sinn able to get the body lock takedown. Basically nice footwork made that takedown happen. And it was a stamp on the end of the round because the 10-second clacker has sounded.
Very nice strikes from the top. Very nice control.
Woo!
Last round.
Yes, indeed. Somebody gonna go home with a $10,000 check. Oh my goodness.
That and some bruised ribs.
No doubts about that.
If I'm Muraski, I think I'm going for the takedown.
And we're checking out the replay here, seeing how the fighters are working from a distance, which of course doesn't last long in this fight. They close it
right
up.
back into that clinch.
Sinn able to trap, trying to go for the single, and Muraski, like you said, maybe gonna want to start trying to work that takedown. Good job looping over the head. Basically let Sinn walk herself into that position. Yeah, if you're Muraski, you know, the stand-up hasn't been decided one way or decidedly to an advantage for one opponent or the other. So, yeah, why not try to change it up just a little bit?
Absolutely.
And Sinn, to me, looking like she wants to come out and push the pace and see if she can't drain her opponent a little bit here early in the final round.
Absolutely. I would like to see her with that jab more.
Little Ernesto Hoost. Following her, ending the combination with the leg kick there by Sinn. And staying real busy with the body punches is Muraski. That's probably 10 or 12
in a row.
Good shots to the ribs right there.
With more coming.
Sinn looking to use the underhook to stand her opponent up real tall. If you can get them up nice and straight up on their toes, obviously a little easier to sweep out the supporting leg. And interestingly enough, as you and I have talked about Muraski possibly having an advantage on the ground, well, up until right now,
yeah.
I was going to say it's been only Sinn that's been trying to go for the takedowns here.
Her pressure.
Yeah.
There
Corner
goes
of
Muraski,
Muraski
yeah.
saying that knee hurt her, and I agree.
I agree.
Sinn wore it well on her face, but you could just see in her footwork a little bit, not quite as crisp on the way back to the cage here.
Keep pushing, Cheri. Keep striking. Watch the takedown, Cheri. Watch the takedown. No. That's Khabib. That's Khabib.
If Sinn can get her head free, she could try to walk around to back control there, but Muraski, of course, aware of that and alters her position a little bit. Sinn has her kick trapped. Muraski unable to take advantage of it. And Muraski with the popping elbow over the top.
And more knees.
And both corners of both fighters just really imploring them. It's such a matter of heart at this point.
Absolutely.
2.5 minutes left. Somebody in the crowd calling out for Superman. Sinn listened. Muraski once again rushes in, gets the clinch. Doesn't try to use it for a takedown. So impressive how Sinn has been able to work with her back
On
against the cage.
Yep.
Just,
It's comfortable.
yeah, you don't see that as being a position where you can mount lots of offense, but boy, she sure has.
I do think it's starting to slowly pile up on her, though. All those knees to the body.
I honestly fail to see how it couldn't have long ago, but both these fighters
They
have
are
just
tough. They are.
worn so much damage so well.
They are warriors. There is no doubt about it.
Battle for wrist control here. There just doesn't seem to be anybody interested in taking it to the ground.
There's no. They are happy just standing there and throwing elbows and knees.
You've kneed me 72 times. Well, I'm going to try to knee you for the 73rd. Oh, wow. Talk about the proverbial war of attrition.
Absolutely. 9 rounds for both these ladies.
Sinn looked for the trip, tried to catch the knee as it came up.
Didn't quite get it.
Good footwork by Muraski to keep herself from being dumped over. Just a few seconds left. And looks like the judges are going to be the ones that have to decide it for us. Oh my goodness, 9 rounds of fighting
What an
to see
amazing
who our
finale.
new Queen of Sparta flyweight division winner is going to be. Wow, what a great night. My goodness, our thanks to both of these fighters for what they put themselves through.
Very well fought, 9 rounds. Who need more?
Indeed.
Who need more?
Yes, indeed.
That's what we're looking at right now.
It's where we need a statistician.
Right. Someone that can just count.
97 significant knee strikes
Check
landed
marks.
in that round.
Absolutely.
See our ring announcer, Sean Patrick, making his way over to the scorer's table. Try to get that piece of paper that's going to tell us who's going home with $10,000. and the cool pink belt. Maybe more of a magenta.
It's a magenta.
A possible mauve.
A fuchsia, even?
You win. Well played. Well played. Here comes Sean Patrick. He's got it.
Here we go.
Time for the big announcement.
Woohoo!
After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Hilsebeck scores about 30-27. Judge McAvoy scores about 29-28. And Judge Garcia, scores about 30-27. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision and new Queen of Sparta Flyweight Division Champion, Cheri Muraski.
Congratulations to the Easton Training Center fighter, Cheri Muraski.
Congratulations.
Goes
Wow.
home as the Queen of Sparta Flyweight Champion, $10,000. What an amazing evening. Thank you to all the athletes for having been part of this. What a great way for Sparta to close out 2018. We're going to look forward to seeing you a bunch in 2019. For Brent Bradley, for Catherine Paparaki, I am J.R. Gordon. Thank you for having joined us cage side. We'll see you next year.
I'm back here once again with Cheri Muraski, our brand new 125-pound Queen of Sparta champ. How's it feel to get that belt?
Oh, it feels just amazing.
It was a grueling back and forth fight. What did you think was the key to victory for you?
Just the pressure, really. Yeah, she's super tough, and it was a hard fight.
So you made history tonight, the first 125-pound Queen of Sparta. What's next going forward for you?
You know, I don't know. I'm definitely not into doing this again for a while, but definitely MMA something.
3 fights in one night, that's gotta be tough on you. Yeah. I know you've got some kids at home, and I've heard you don't let them watch the fights live. What are you gonna tell them when you get home tonight?
I'm just gonna show them my belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it. Congratulations again. Very proud, very happy for you. Great job, Cheri.